ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, dear devotees, welcome. So today we are continuing discussion on our nectar of instruction verse number 2. I hope these elaborate discussions are not boring, because we are doing it elaborately so that we can understand from various acharyas also. But if you feel you can give your feedback to Adarsh Prabhu, then we can go in little faster mode also. But most probably for the initial 4 to 5 verses, we'll be discussing very detailed. Later verses, we will be going little faster. Hmm. So let us recite quickly and then proceed ahead. This shloka we are reading. Atyahar prayasascha prajalpo niyamagraha jana sangascha lolyam cha shadbir bhaktir vinashyati. Yes, one of you can read the translation, bro.
One's devotional service is spoiled when he becomes too entangled in the following 6 activities. First, eating more than necessary or collecting more funds than required. Second, over-endeavoring for mundane things that are difficult to obtain. Third, talking unnecessarily about mundane subject matter. Fourth, practicing the scriptural rules and regulations only for the sake of following them and not for the sake of spiritual advancement, or rejecting the rules and regulations of the scriptures and working independently or whimsically. Fifth, associating with worldly minded people who are not interested in Krishna consciousness. And sixth, being greedy for mundane achievements.
Correct. So we had discussed about that, how destroying bhakti, what does it mean, and also we discussed about various types of prajalpas. We discussed atyahar, prayas, ati prayas, and prajalpa. So today we are going to start our discussion on another topic which is called niyamagraha. So let us see what our Prabhupada has to say about Niyamagra. One interesting thing, actually, Prabhupada doesn't write much about Niyamagra. Only the Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur, what he has given for Niyamagra, Srila Prabhupada has just taken it from there and given it to us. So let us try to see what Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur has to say. So he says, yes, one of you can read, Prabhu, please. This is from paragraph 16.
Accepting some of the scriptural rules and regulations for immediate benefit, as utilitarians advocate, is called niyamagra, and neglecting the rules and regulations of the shastras, which are meant for spiritual development, is called niyamagra. The word agra means eagerness to accept, and agra means failure to accept. By the addition of either of these two words of the words niyam, rules and regulation, the word niyamagra is formed. Thus, the niyamagra has a twofold meaning that is understood according to the particular combination of words. Those interested in Krishna consciousness should not be eager to accept rules and regulations for economic advancement, yet they should very faithfully accept scriptural rules and regulations for the advancement of Krishna consciousness. They should strictly follow the regulatory principle by avoiding illicit sex, meditating, gambling, and intoxication.
Correct. So Bhakti Sandra Thakur and of course previous acharyas as well, Bhakti Vinod Thakur and others, they have taken this word in a very beautiful way, Niyam Agraha. So Niyam means rules and regulations. है ना? Now Agraha, if you have uh, A with capital, A with A ki matra, Agraha means something added into it. That means that when a practitioner practices rules for the sake of rules or for some immediate benefits. Just like, for example, somebody may follow Ekadashi Vrata, or now Bhishma Panchaka started yesterday. So why they may follow this Vrata? because it is going to help them in reducing their body fat. Correct. So then it becomes niyam agraha. Similarly, there are many rules which people want some material benefit out of it. That is called niyam agraha. But it is not meant for pure devotional service. Similarly, when you have normal no aki matra, niyam agraha, it means neglecting the rules and regulations of the shastras. What does neglecting the rules and regulation of the shastras means? Suppose it has been given to us that getting up early in the morning and doing japa is very good, but then one may say that actually I am already doing so much seva in the daytime. I deserve to sleep in the morning time. Anyhow, I will finish my chanting 16 rounds. This is called niyamagra. Neglecting the rules altogether. And in the first case, we accept the rule for the sake of accepting or for some material benefit. And in second case, what we do is we just neglect the rules. But for devotee, what is important is that he doesn't accept this both the extremes. For him, the most important rule is that we will accept all those rules and regulations which will help me to progress in Krishna consciousness. All those rules and regulations. So even though those rules and regulation, I may feel that it is too much for me, or I may feel it's too less for me, but still I accept it. For example, just like it is explained that as a devotee, we should not be associating with worldly minded people. Now, next point is this only what Rup Goswami has given, Jana Sangha. So we may think, Prabhuji, what is the problem in associating with worldly minded people? I can associate, no problem. But still, it is given by our acharyas, we should follow. So this is how Niyamagra is a very important thing. Now you may say, Ki, Prabhuji, this is just normal things. We are following whatever niyams we are supposed to follow and not following what we are not supposed to follow. No, no. Our Bhakti Vinod Thakur has done very beautiful analysis of this. What he has done, he says niyam means rules or regulations. And what Bhaktivinoda Thakur also he says, niyam agra means rigid attachment to rules without understanding their purpose. This is something more deep what Bhaktivinoda Thakur is telling. That somebody may be rigidly attached to some of the niyams, rules, but he may not understand what is the purpose of those rules. So there is a saying na, Radheshyam says, there is a letter of the law and there is spirit of the law. Correct? He gives this example that how uh, once a devotee was told that you make sure everybody put down their shoes here in shoe stand and then only go inside. So one old couple, they came from their car and they kept their shoes in the car only. And they came bare feet and they were going inside. This devotee stop. Said, yes. Where are your slippers? They said it is in the car. He said, no, you are supposed to remove it here. My manager has told that everybody should remove their shoes here, not in the car. So he was too much attached to the rules without understanding the purpose of it. Similarly, how this plays a very important role is when we all are practitioner devotees, there are certain rules, which are there recommended for us and which varies step according to the level of advancement. Like just like for example, I'll tell you, uh, practically it has been observed that how it is said that generally devotees should be, observing Ekadashi, and chanting extra rounds. Correct? So now chanting extra rounds on Ekadashi is very good, wonderful rule. But what happens is sometime when a devotee is too much engaged in some service, he may not be able to chant on Ekadashi. But if he is following Niyam Agra, then what he will do? He will give up the service. But what he will do? He will chant extra rounds. So of course, if that service is not getting affected, then we can give up and chant extra rounds. But if that service is getting affected, then we should not just give up that service. And rather we should do that service and chant extra round next day. Another example I give you. Suppose we have this rule that we should sit in the morning and chant Hare Krishna at one place. Now, at that time, there might be some emergency. Some devotee's health would be very bad, and he might be suffering from high fever. He needs some medication and care. But that time, if the devotee thinks, no, I am supposed to chant Hare Krishna in the morning only, let him die, but I will take care of him after my morning program. That is Niyamagraha, too much attached to the rules. And on the other hand, Niyamagraha, neglect or rejection of rules. So neglect or rejection of rules means becoming indifferent to those things which nourishes bhakti. Indifferent. This also happens with the devotees. So over a period of time, example is of book reading. We are supposed to read Srila Prabhupada books. But then over a period of time, devotee, he forgets the reading of Srila Prabhupada books, thinking it to be, anyhow, I know the philosophy. I have read Prabhupada books, all the Prabhupada books, and I know what Prabhupada is going to speak. So he may neglect reading this Prabhupada books, thinking that he already knows. This is called Niyamagraha, giving up the rules. Another example is offering obeisances to the Vaishnavas. So one may think, अरे एनियो आई एम हैपनिंग एवरी डे ना, देखता रहता हूँ इसको हर दिन में, है ना, हर दिन क्या ओबेसेंसेस पे करना है. दिस इज नियम आग्रह. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he says that devotees have different stages of life, and in different stages of life there are different rules to be followed. And if a devotee is not aware which rule to be followed, then he comes into the zone of niyam agraha or niyam agraha. Furthermore, he says very beautiful thing. Let us go ahead. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that as a devotee also, soul rises from lower levels to higher level. There is something called as karma, level of karma, where we may not have complete faith on Krishna or faith on Bhakti scriptures, but we are practicing Bhakti because it is helping me in material life. This is called level of karma, fruitive activities. तो बहुत सारे आप देखेंगे इनिशियली जो लोग आते हैं वो कर्मा के लेवल पे होते हैं. क्यों भक्ति करते हैं? बिकॉज दे आर गेटिंग सम बेनिफिट, कुछ फायदा मिल रहा है, दे आर एट द लेवल ऑफ कर्मा. देन somebody higher than karma is at the level of jnana. So who are at the level of jnanas? ज्ञान वाले क्या होते हैं? when karmis they come to bhakti, they practice limbs of bhakti for fruitive activities, still they don't get satisfaction because fruitive activities happiness तो देने वाली नहीं है. Then they think actually इन सब में कुछ रखा नहीं है, मेरे को जानना चाहिए असली में जीवन का उद्देश्य क्या होना चाहिए, मैं कौन हूं. Then they come to the level of jnana, where they become disgusted, or at least they become detached from the fruitive activities or sense gratification of this world. Then comes bhaktas. Just detachment will not work, है ना. Bhaktas, they understand actually my goal of life is to love Krishna, not just to stop my misery by liberation, but to love Krishna. And among bhaktas also there are different categories. We have Dasyaras, Sakyaras, Vatsalyaras, and Madhuryaras. So there are categories of prema which one can develop to Krishna. So at all these different levels, he says, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, there are some prescriptions and prohibitions. And what does advancing means? Advancing means leaving the lower rule and embracing the higher ones. This is what advancement means. So he says, Niyam Agraha, it is like climbing a stairs. So whatever rules we are following in Bhakti, it is like climbing stairs. So two way you can go up. One, we can climb through rope. Another way, we can climb through stairs. But there is a difference in climbing through rope and climbing through stairs. Climbing through rope means that always we have to follow just one thing, that we have to catch hold of the rope and climb. But that is not the case in Bhakti. Bhakti is climbing the stairs. You have to give up first stair to get to the second step. Then you have to give up the second step to get to the third step. So all those steps are helping you to progress ahead only. But sometimes devotees, they don't understand these things. And they face a lot of challenges in their life of guilt, of unnecessary. This is what we are going to see later on also. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says So advancing means leaving the lower rules and embracing the higher ones. Staying attached to the previous level is called niyam agraha. For example, he says about this karmis, jnanis, and bhaktas. So he says those who are karma kandis, for them the prescription is varnashrama duties. They should follow proper varnashrama because after all they are looking for fruitive activities. And prohibitions is they should avoid four regulative principles. Sinful activities they should avoid. This is the prohibitions. Now, if karma kanda wala person he thinks, you know, that why I to follow varnashrama? Let me just give up everything because after all, bhaktas don't follow varnashrama or bhaktas for them it doesn't matter whether they follow varnashrama or not. So let me also give up. Then it is niyamagra for him. But karma kanda, he should know that what he is supposed to follow. And we should also guide the devotees in the similar fashion, what they are supposed to follow. Next step is called jnana kanda. Or for them, the prescription is renunciation. They should give up material sense gratification and study scriptures, get the knowledge of the Lord. And for them, prohibition is fruitive work and attachment. They should not be too much attached. They should not be looking for results. This is called jnana, means proper renunciation. But bhakti is different altogether. Bhakti's prescription is favorable acts to please Krishna. Whatever pleases Krishna is bhakti. And prohibitions is anything which doesn't please Krishna has to be avoided. So now this is the rule. Of course, we know that all the rules are subservient to always remember Krishna and to never forget Krishna. But Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that for bhaktas, the rule is whatever pleases Krishna, whatever that is the rule, and prohibitions are whatever displeases Krishna. So when we as a devotees are practicing bhakti, we have to understand which level we are. So now all of them, they have some qualifications also. What are the qualifications? So the karma kanda's qualification is that they have faith in the scriptures for fulfilling their material needs. They are called karma kandas. Jnanis, they have faith in the scriptures for the purpose of getting renounce from this world. But bhaktas faith in the scriptures when it is for the purpose of pleasing Krishna, that is bhaktas. So इसलिए Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, first thing when it says in माधुर्य कदमनी, भक्ति की स्टार्ट कहां से होता है? श्रद्धा. श्रद्धा means faith. Faith in the scriptures. So भक्ति अगर कोई कर रहा है उसके लिए सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट क्वालिफिकेशन है कि he has faith in scriptures. Then the niyams and of course prescriptions and prohibitions of bhakti will apply to him. If somebody doesn't have faith on scriptures and we are forcing the principles of some other stage upon him, of bhakti basically upon him, then he may get frustrated. Similarly, things apply for us also. So many of us might be working and many of us might get married also. So when we get married and we get working, so many times devotees have fanatic behavior that let us give up everything for Krishna, or let us do this and that. Yes, those things are good to do, provided what is your level of advancement in bhakti. So if somebody is having firm faith in the scriptures, then yes, he can fully depend upon Krishna and Krishna will take care of him, just like Srivas Thakur. But if somebody is not at the level of Srivas Thakur, then telling him to be completely dependent upon Krishna may hinder his progress in the path of bhakti. This is what happens with the devotees also. Similarly, we see that within the ashramas, there are different rules for different ashramas. Now, if somebody thinking that the opposite ashrama is advancing fast, let me go to that ashrama or let me follow the rules of that ashrama, then it will be hindrance in path of his bhakti. These all things get covered in niyam agraha. So now, what are the effects if we do niyam agraha? So all of you are going to answer this. Let me just share with all of you. So all of you, please share with me. First, if somebody is following too rigidly the rules and regulation of the lower thing and not accepting the rules and regulation of the next step, then what will happen to him? Or if somebody neglects the rules, he just not follow them only, what will happen to him? See, the purpose of this presentation is that we have to understand the need of understanding what is my adhikar, what is my stage, and what I'm supposed to follow. And for that, if we get an able guide, able guru, then it is best thing for us. So at every step, we need a guidance. We cannot assume ourselves to go progress without guidance. That is the purpose of understanding this niyam agra. Because at every step, there are different rules to be followed. But who will tell us what rule to be followed, what not? Scriptures will tell, but who will decode scriptures for us? Those are the devotees who will decode. And of course, one should have knowledge of scripture himself also, so that he can understand that devotees are not cheating. Of course, devotees don't cheat, but the cheaters, they cheat. So therefore it becomes a great need for all of us that we should read scriptures very deeply. Somebody, अरे Prabhuji, somebody is illiterate. अरे illiterate का बात नहीं है. Literacy का कोई लेना देना नहीं है scriptures की study से, है ना? He may not remember things, no problem, but he should understand what it means to practice certain rules and regulation at different times. This is what is required. So now, please, all of you, kindly write down in chat what are the effects if somebody doesn't follow Niyam Agraham. So we have Vishal Prabhu already given, will not advance. Okay, this is a very gross way of telling will not advance, but something more, which practical problems we all may face. Sandeep Prabhu is telling there will be no harmony. Yes, this is one thing. There will be difference of opinions between Vaishnavas because they will not understand. This Vaishnava will look from this point of view, this Vaishnava will look from this point of view, and they may think that both of us are not understanding each other. And they will not therefore progress, or they will commit Vaishnava Aparadh. Another thing is insensitivity. Yes, that's what happened. This harmony means insensitivity. We may look faults in others. That is called Vaishnava Aparadh. Yes, very nicely said. So this is what will happen if we do Niyamagra. If we don't know what is I am supposed to do at particular stage, it hardens our heart. Yes, sometimes when we are too much attaching to certain rules and regulation, it gives us pride. So giving it up is also good sometimes. Next is will be very unstable and may lose faith in scripture in long term. Yes, because you may think scripture doesn't work. मैं तो नियम फॉलो कर रहा हूँ, कुछ हो ही नहीं रहा है. अरे क्यों नहीं हो रहा है? आप नियम आगे वाला स्टेप नहीं ले रहे आप, है ना? जस्ट लाइक फॉर एग्जाम्पल हमारे विश्वनाथ चक्रवर्ती ठाकुर माधुर्य कदम में बताते हैं, आदो श्रद्धा अगर किसी के पास आ गई तो बढ़ाने के लिए क्या है ना, साधु संग. साधु संग के बाद क्या करना है? भजन क्रिया. भजन क्रिया तब करेगा अनर्थ निवृत्ति होगी. अभी कोई भजन क्रिया ही नहीं कर रहा है, उसको लग रहा है अनर्थ निवृत्ति क्यों नहीं हो रही? अरे ऐसे कैसे हो जाएगी? आपको भजन क्रिया करना पड़ेगा ना, है ना? फिर अनर्थ निवृत्ति हो जाएगी, तब वो निष्ठा पे पहुंचेगा. तो ऐसा करके हर एक स्टेप का एक रूल्स है, वो करना चाहिए. विल कम टू द क्वेश्चंस. प्रूफ फॉलोइंग टू रिजिडली मेक्स वन प्राउड, लीड्स टू ऑफेंसेस. यस, भक्ति फील सफोकेटिंग. हाँ, उसको लगेगा मैं कुछ कर ही नहीं पा रहा हूँ. एंड मोस्ट ऑफ द डिवोटीज फेस दिस चैलेंज नाउअडेज, वर्किंग डिवोटीज, बिकॉज दे ट्राई टू फिगर आउट देमसेल्व्स, है ना? ये सबसे बड़ी प्रॉब्लम आ जाती है. हम तो खुद तो लर्नेड नहीं है और शास्त्रों को खुद से समझने की कोशिश करें, मेरे लिए क्या अप्लाई करेगा? हाँ ठीक है, आप समझिए, लेकिन एक प्रॉपर गाइड के अंदर समझिए. Then, too rigidly following lower rules, advancement will get hindered and devotees won't be able to taste a higher bliss, which over a period of time will lead to frustration. Yes, correct. So, यहाँ पे हमारे devotees बताते हैं, when Krishna says that you get higher taste, then you will be able to give up lower taste. So, Krishna says first thing is to get higher taste. Then you will be able to give lower taste. बहुत सारे devotees बोलते हैं प्रभु जी अनर्थास नहीं जा रहे हैं. अरे आपको हायर टेस्ट आया क्या? पहले हायर टेस्ट आएगा फिर अनर्थास जाएंगे. पहले अनर्थास जाएंगे फिर हायर टेस्ट आएगा, ऐसा नहीं है, उल्टा नहीं है. तो ये स्क्रिप्चर्स पढ़ेंगे तो पता चलेगा. मेनी टाइम्स डिवोटीज स्ट्रगल, इनफैक्ट इवन इन ब्रह्मचारी आश्रम और इन एनी आश्रम फॉर दैट सेक, लस्ट. तो प्रभु जी लस्ट है बहुत, अरे तो लस्ट है, उसके लिए क्या कर रहे हैं आप? रोजी क्या करें, अभी मैं लस्ट ही हूं तो मैं बस चले जाता हूँ भक्ति छोड़ के, लस्ट को ही बोलता हूँ हाय हेलो लस्ट मैं आ रहा हूँ। ना ना, ऐसा नहीं करना है। लस्ट आपका तब तक रहेगा तब तक आपको कृष्ण के प्रति हायर टेस्ट नहीं आ रहा है। तो उसी के लिए भक्ति कर रहे हैं हम कि वी गेट सम हायर टेस्ट, एंड व्हेन विल गेट सम हायर टेस्ट देन लस्ट विल गो। Sometimes devotees interpret things completely differently. Hmm? And they pose you should be pure devotee. अरे प्योर डिवोटी हो तो भक्ति क्यों करेगा, फिर वो तो हो गया ना प्योर डिवोटी। करेक्ट, ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए। नेग्लेक्टिंग रूल्स फेथ विल नॉट स्ट्रेंथन एंड इट विल बिकम डिफिकल्ट टू स्टे कंसिस्टेंट इन पाथ भक्ति। करेक्ट। हम ये सब कुछ ट्राई करते रहेंगे इधर 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 उधर, सबसे पूछना प्रभु जी क्या करना चाहिए, प्रभु जी क्या करना चाहिए, अनस्टेबल रहेगा बेचारा व्यक्ति। लीड्स टू प्रैक्टिकल डिवोशनल सर्विस जस्ट एज रूटीन एक्टिविटी, यस, है ना। It will become a burden for us to do that thing. Will frustrate and chance to give up if we wait, if we take too rigidly. Yes, correct. Forget the goal, only why we are following the rules. Yes, all those things are there. Only attached to niyam may lead to offend devotees. Yes, we covered that. More self-centered rather than Krishna-centered, our attitude to practice bhakti will go. Yes, this is also one very beautiful thing. Actually, this is what happens. है ना? The goal and the highest rule is to remember Krishna and not forget Krishna. But we remember rules and regulations so much that we forget Krishna. Then that rule get compromised. है ना? This I have practical example. Sometimes some devotees, because of busyness in their schedule and some situation, health issues in their life, what happens? They are not able to, practice रीडिंग प्रभुपाद बुक्स। चैंटिंग तो सब लोग कर लेते हैं क्योंकि वाव है स्पिरिचुअल मास्टर का, बट रीडिंग बुक्स नहीं कर पाते हैं या फिर हियरिंग नहीं कर पाते हैं। एंड उसके बाद रिस्पॉन्स क्या होता है उनका? यही रिस्पॉन्स हो जाए जो लिखा है, दे स्टार्ट फीलिंग गिल्टी, मैं नहीं कर पा रहा हूँ, नहीं हो पाएगा, ना ना ना। तो ये दे आर बिकमिंग कंप्लीटली सेल्फ सेंटर्ड। बट इफ अ डिवोटी थिंक्स, ओके, वट एवर आई हैव रेड प्रीवियसली, लेट मी ट्राई टू थिंक दैट, है ना। Or if I am not able to read or hear right now, let me try to associate with those who are reading and hearing. Because after all, Krishna, he wants me to take some step by which I will remember him. So let me take this step. Or he will think that let me engage in that activity which I like, which I can do automatically. I may not be able to read, but I may be able to hear. So let me hear. You know? I may not be able to get out time for hearing also. So let me try to call some devotee and ask him, Prabhu, what you heard, and please tell me. So actually, this is the way how devotees should be seen because they have to remember Krishna. Okay, finally, they have. If we can understand these two things, Niyamagra and Niyamagra, then can help each other to go ahead. Yes, we can help each other. Otherwise, we'll give wrong guidance to others. Person who tries to follow too rigidly without guidance, if that person falls down due to previous samskar, then he will not follow anything. Then everything is zero. Yes, because he will feel that bhakti काम नहीं कर रही है. Now we have questions time. Gradually, his superiors lose trust due to his overly attached to the rules. Okay, superiors की तरफ से. ठीक है. Before we go to Jana Sangha, any questions for this? Quickly, please. I took it very short way. Bhaktivinoda Thakur gives too much elaborate explanation, more of this Niyamagra, and we can also discuss elaborately. Yes, questions, Prabhuji. We have Pushpendra Guru first.
Hare Krishna, Guruji. Guruji, following rules and regulations ritualistically, will it lead to eighth offense also in chanting?
Eighth offense of chanting is uh,
To consider the chanting of Hare Krishna as one of the auspicious ritualistic activities.
ah, auspicious ritualistic activities. Yes, correct. Because we are doing chanting just because it will bring some auspiciousness. That is offense. Correct. Nice point. Yes, Aman Pro.
गुरु जी, इसमें आपने मेंशन किया कि नियमाग्रह में कि नॉट नोइंग द स्पिरिट ऑफ द लाइक वॉट एवर रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशन वी आर फॉलोइंग, लेकिन प्रभु जी बाद में आपने वो मेंशन किया कि उपकरण कांड फिर उसमें ज्ञान कांड ऐसे करके कृष्ण प्रेम तक फिर प्रभु जी, लेकिन भागवतम में एक बार आता है कि लाइक जो भी रूल्स रेगुलेशन फॉलो कर रहे हैं अगर कृष्ण के प्रति प्रेम नहीं डेवलप हो रहा है तो वो श्रम एवं ही केवल। तो ये प्रभु जी जैसे ये जो सेकंड थिंग था कि वो कर्म कांड और उसके बाद ऐसे करके फॉलो करते हुए कृष्ण प्रेम तक जाएंगे, तो प्रभु जी वो कैसे होगा? लाइक हम लोग ऐसे तो कर रहे हैं फॉलो, बट उसका स्पिरिट जानते ही नहीं, तो वो कैसे वो साइकिल कंप्लीट होगा कि हम लोग कृष्ण प्रेम तक जाए?
ओके, तो अमन यादव प्रो का क्वेश्चन है जो हमने समझा है वो ये है कि आइडियली हमने देखा कि कर्म कांडी ज्ञान पे आता है, फिर ज्ञान वाला भक्ति करता है। एंड हमने भगवत गीता में देखा है कि कर्म कांड वाले को भी पता होना चाहिए भाई उसका गोल क्या है ना। तो ही वो फ्रूटफुल है। क्योंकि हम भागवतम में सुनते हैं धर्म स्वनिष्ठिता पुंसाम विश्वक्सेन कथा नोत्पाती तिरतिम श्रम एवं केवलम। तो अगर किसी को भगवान की कथा में रुचि नहीं आ रही है तो उसका सारा जो धर्म फॉलो कर रहा है वो श्रम एव है। तो फिर इन दोनों को कैसे कंसाइल करें? बिकॉज एक साइड क्या है कि जो कर्म है उसको अच्छे से करेंगे, सेंस ग्रेटिफिकेशन नहीं मिलेगा तो डिटैचमेंट आएगा, तो ज्ञान के स्तर पे आएंगे, फिर ज्ञान पे नॉलेज गेन करेंगे, फिर उससे धीरे धीरे भक्ति के स्तर पे आएंगे, स्टेप बाय स्टेप है। और दूसरा है कि यहाँ पे बता दिया है कि अगर आप कर्म भी कर रहे हैं लेकिन आपको भगवान की कथा में रुचि नहीं मिली तो वो सब यूजलेस है। तो ये आप लोगों को भगवत गीता में आया होगा योगा लेटर में डिस्कशन के लिए। एक्चुअली जो भागवतम में बताया गया है धर्म स्वनिष्ठिता पुंसाम, वो बताया गया है इन रिलेशन टू एक्टिविटीज व्हाट डिवोटीज आर परफॉर्मिंग इन भक्ति। That is not pure karma kand. Pure karma kand is different thing what we are reading this, but here it is those activities which devotees are performing with the knowledge of the scriptures in bhakti. Just like for example, if some devotee is a brahmana, he is having a brahmana mentality, he is reading scriptures, and he is a devotee first, and he is reading scriptures and doing some activities karma kand and all, but his purpose is should be that he should be able to remember Krishna and make others remember Krishna, or hear about Krishna. That is what is the goal. Uh, Otherwise if that is not achieved, then that endeavor by the devotee is kind of niyamagra. What all of you are telling, that is only niyamagra explained in bhakti, but there can be niyamagra in other places as well, not only just bhakti. Understood? ठीक है।
प्रभु जी जैसे नियमाग्रह जो भक्ति में है प्रभु जी, वो मीन्स हियरिंग के थ्रू क्लियर हो जाएगा, हियरिंग के थ्रू हम लोगों का स्पिरिट रिगेन कर सकते हैं जो नियमाग्रह हम लोग भक्ति में परफॉर्म कर रहे हैं प्रभु जी। लेकिन भक्ति के
नहीं,
आउटसाइड में जो हम लोग
देखिए सिर्फ हियरिंग नहीं, हियरिंग के साथ साथ आपको अप्लाई भी करनी पड़ेगी चीजें। हियरिंग से तो आपको नॉलेज मिलेगी कि क्या करना है, मेरे को कौन सा रूल फॉलो करना है।
यस
अब उस रूल को फॉलो भी करना पड़ेगा ना, नहीं तो नियम आग्रह हो जाएगा।
प्रभु
ठीक
जी
है।
भक्ति के बाहर जो हम लोग फॉलो करते हैं नियमाग्रह, वो कैसे हम लोगों को कृष्ण के पास लेके जा रहा है?
नहीं देखिए, भक्ति के बाहर वाले लोग अपनी स्टेज का रूल फॉलो करेंगे, और फिर वो जब स्टेज का रूल फॉलो करेंगे, देखिए एक चीज तो हमको समझ में आना है कि कृष्ण के पास जाने का मतलब क्या है, उसके भी बहुत सारे स्तर है। ठीक है। कृष्ण के पास मुक्ता नाम अपि सिद्धा नाम नारायण परायणा, ये सब लोग कृष्ण के पास ही हैं, है ना। लेकिन कितने पास है वो डिपेंड करता है उनकी स्टेजेस के ऊपर। तो हम लोग जब भक्त बन जाते हैं या भक्त बनने का प्रयास कर रहे होते हैं, तो हमको कृष्ण का पास मतलब लगता है वो कृष्ण प्रेमी होना चाहिए, पांच चार रसों में से एक, वो सबसे हाईएस्ट है। लेकिन ये कर्म कांडी ज्ञान कांडी लोग, हो सकता है दे कैन लीड टू द लिबरेशन एट मैक्स, और दे मे गेट इनटू सम न्यूट्रल रसा विद द लॉर्ड। तो यहाँ तक वो लोग रीच कर सकते हैं, एंड दैट इज अ ग्रेजुअल प्रोसेस। ये मैं ले नहीं रहा हूँ बिकॉज इट इट शुड हैव डिस्कस्ड इन भगवत गीता योगा लेटर। योगा लेटर में यही सब डिस्कस किया था। अब लोगों को याद है कि नहीं योगा लेटर डिस्कस किया था? किसने लिया था योगा लेटर? ये योगा लेटर का क्वेश्चन है, मतलब आउट ऑफ आर कंटेक्स्ट।
प्रभु जी आलोक प्रभु जी और नेपाली के
तो आई थिंक वी हैव ऑल द रिकॉर्डिंग्स, आप उस पे जाइए, वो देखिए, उसमें आपको पता चलेगा कैसे ग्रेजुअल प्रोग्रेशन होता है। ठीक है।
यस प्रभु जी मतलब कि जो नियमाग्रह है वो पर्टिकुलर पर्सन जिस लेवल पे है उसके लिए बेनिफिशियल है।
नियम आग्रह का मतलब है जो पर्सन जिस लेवल पे है, अगर उस लेवल की चीजों को फॉलो नहीं करता है तो फिर प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगी उसको। ठीक है।
Okay, Prabhuji. Yes, thank you.
Yes, Ranti, Dev, Prabhu, and who else is there?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare
Prabhuji,
Krishna.
like in PPT 1.3 of Prabhuji, like Bhaktivinoda Thakur says ki as one advanced, so he should not be attached to the lower stages. So Prabhuji, what it really means, I need some clarification. Prabhuji, you have told this Karma Kanda, Jnana Kanda. So this is also one ladder. And another Madhur Kandamni you have quoted, Prabhuji, Adhusada Sadhusanga Bhajan Kirana Nivite. So Prabhuji, this is applied in, as far I understanding, ki this is applied on this Karma Kanda and Jnana Kanda only. This level, this or like this
Okay,
applies
so
with this.
first and foremost thing, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajan Kriya, that is not ladder. Those all processes are simultaneously performed by a devotee. Now in Bhakti, how this is there, it has a real little esoteric understanding, but I'll tell you because since this question has come. So as devotees are practicing Bhakti, you will find that they will be naturally attracted towards one limb of Bhakti. Actually, if you see Nishtha means we have fixity. After Nishtha, what stage come?
Ruchi, Ruchi.
Ruchi. What does Ruchi means? Ruchi means attraction towards one limb of Bhakti. So that is a Ruchi. So, for example, some devotee, he may be getting in his heart the attraction towards kirtan. Then he should be doing kirtan. If thinking that I will do too much kirtan, what about deity worship? Then that is covered under Niyamagra because he is not giving up one rule for taking the higher rule. Because at the stage of Ruchi, he gets attracted towards one particular service. He has respect for all service. He doesn't say deity worship is bad. He doesn't say preaching is bad, but he likes to do kirtan. That is how it is. So this, when we'll read the scriptures, we'll understand how giving up lower rule for the higher rule is important. Just like, for example, if somebody is increasing in Sharanagati to the Lord, then he should not be depending upon demigods to give him benefits. ये सारी चीजें हम अपने क्लासेस में फर्स्ट क्लास के बच्चों को बता देते हैं, बट एक्चुअली ये उसके लिए जो शरणागत भक्त है, उसको डेमिगॉड वर्शिप से कुछ लेना देना नहीं होना चाहिए. एस्ट्रोलॉजी एस्ट्रोलॉजी सब साइड में रख देगा वो, बिकॉज वो एडवांस कर रहा है. लेकिन अगर वो एडवांस डिवोटी हो गया है, मतलब उसको भगवान के ऊपर फिंजरे से, समझ में आ रहा है आपको? एक तो हाथ ऊपर करके रखा करो यार, तब तक आंसर नहीं मिल जाता, मैं ढूंढता रहता हूँ कहाँ गए.
Yes, yes, Prabhuji.
हाँ, समझ में आ रहा है? ऐसा है. अब रुचि के बाद क्या है? रुचि के बाद है आसक्ति. आसक्ति का मतलब क्या है कि अभी रुचि में आपको एक पर्टिकुलर लिंब में बहुत अट्रैक्शन था, अब आपका वो अट्रैक्शन कृष्ण के प्रति चेंज हो रहा है. लिंब में अट्रैक्शन है, लेकिन अभी उस लिंब में भी कृष्ण के प्रति अट्रैक्शन हो रहा है, तो वो आसक्ति है. अब वो आसक्ति जो है जब भाव में कन्वर्ट होगी और डेवलप होगी, तो उस समय हमको कृष्ण के एक पर्टिकुलर फॉर्म के प्रति अट्रैक्शन डेवलप होगा. जैसे अभी हम गोवर्धन में थे, तो वहां पे राधा कुंड पे गए, रघुनाथ दास गोस्वामी की लीला श्रवण कर रहे थे. तो रघुनाथ दास गोस्वामी हर दिन ऐसा बटर मिल्क पीते थे छोटे से पत्ते में, है ना, पेड़ के पत्ते में. तो उनका एक सर्वेंट था, उसका नाम था दास, दासी नाम था उसका. तो उसने सोचा कि मेरे जो मास्टर हैं इतना सा बटर मिल्क पीते हैं, क्योंकि पत्ता छोटा सा है, कहीं बड़ा पत्ता मिल जाए तो बढ़िया अच्छा रहेगा. तो वो बरसाना के पास गए, सखी स्थली करके एक नाम है. तो वो जो गांव था वो चंद्रावली का गांव था. उस गांव की जो रोड थी, उस रोड पे एक पेड़ था जिसके पत्ते बहुत बड़े बड़े थे. तो ये सर्वेंट ने वहां से पत्ते कलेक्ट करे और उस पत्ते में बटर मिल्क डाल के दे दिया रघुनाथ दास गोस्वामी को. रघुनाथ दास गोस्वामी बोले, ओ वंडरफुल, ये कहाँ से मिला तुमको इतना बड़ा पत्ता? तो उसने बोला वो वहां सखी स्थली से मिला. रघुनाथ गोस्वामी गुस्सा हो गया, फेंक दिया वो, नहीं चाहिए मेरे को, बटर मिल्क ही नहीं पीना है. वो सर्वेंट बोला, अरे क्यों नहीं पीना है? बोले क्योंकि वो चंद्रावली के गांव से है. चंद्रावली इज इन स्पिरिचुअल वर्ल्ड शी इज द अपोनेंट ऑफ श्रीमती राधा रानी हु इज ट्राइंग टू गेट कृष्णा. So it became so deep for him as he is progressing. Similarly हम लोग डिवोटीज है ना, जैसे हम हमारे स्तर पे हम क्या बताते हैं, देखिए हमारे स्तर पे क्या है कि देखिए राम भी भगवान है, कृष्ण भी भगवान है, सब लोग भगवान है, करेक्ट ना? लेकिन लोग भी बोलते हैं आप कृष्णा वाले क्यों हैं? बिकॉज वी आर ट्राइंग टू डेवलप कृष्ण प्रेम, है ना. तो अभी कोई डिवोटी बोले नहीं जी राम भी तो भगवान है, कृष्ण भी तो भगवान है, चलो फिर हम तो रामायण ही पढ़ते हैं, रामायण का एनालिसिस करता है, देन ही विल गो इन दैट डायरेक्शन ऑफ डेवलपिंग राम प्रेम, या एक्टिविटीज कृष्ण प्रेम की कर रहा है, कल्टीवेशन राम प्रेम का कर रहा है, तो प्रॉब्लम आ जाएगा उसको। समझ में आ रहा है? तो इसलिए जो डिवोटीज होते हैं वो कृष्ण के ऊपर फोकस करते हैं ज्यादा। अभी कृष्ण और चैतन्य महाप्रभु में कोई अंतर नहीं है, तो इसलिए हम चैतन्य महाप्रभु के ऊपर भी, ये हमारे आचार्य बता रहे हैं, अगर चैतन्य महाप्रभु के ऊपर भी कोई फोकस करे तो भी उसको कृष्ण में मिलेगा, कोई कृष्ण के ऊपर फोकस करे उसको गौर प्रेम मिलेगा, गौर प्रेम और कृष्ण में दोनों एक ही है। लेकिन अगर आप राम जी के ऊपर फोकस कर रहे हैं या फिर नरसिम्हा वरा इन सब के ऊपर फोकस, तो फिर प्रॉब्लम प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, प्रॉब्लम तो कुछ भी नहीं है, बट यू विल नॉट बी एंटरिंग इनटू दैट रसा ऑफ कृष्ण प्रेम। ये है गिविंग अ लोअर रूल फॉर हायर रूल। समझ में आ रहा है आपको? ऐसा है। तो ये तो भक्ति के इंटीग्रिटीज है, जब हम उसमें घुसेंगे, उसको पढ़ेंगे, समझेंगे, तो हमको पता चलेगा कि ये क्या क्या चीज है। ठीक है, चलो हो गया। अंडरस्टूड प्रो?
जी लिटिल। प्रभु जी एक एक और क्वेश्चन था प्रभु जी, ये शायद समझ में आ गया इनको। जैसे हम जब सुन रहे हैं प्रभु जी नियम आग्रह नियम आग्रह, तो ऐसा लग रहा है प्रभु जी हमें किसी को गाइड करना ही नहीं चाहिए प्रभु जी, क्योंकि मतलब बहुत मुश्किल है गाइड करना, और गाइडेंस लेना भी अब थोड़ा लग रहा है कि पता नहीं वो मेरा लेवल जानते हैं नहीं, तो मतलब तब कैसे समझ सकते हैं प्रभु जी, मतलब मतलब कि गाइडेंस लेना भी पड़ता है और देना भी पड़ता है प्रभु जी।
हाँ, तो इसलिए गाइडेंस हम देखिए, पहली चीज हम उतने तक उस चीजों में गाइडेंस दे सकते हैं जिस स्टेज पे हम है, उस स्टेज तक की गाइडेंस हम दे सकते हैं। लेकिन उस स्टेज से अगर ऊपर की गाइडेंस कोई मांग रहा है हमसे, तो हमको उसको कनेक्ट करना चाहिए जो सीनियर डिवोटीज है। इसलिए गुरु से कनेक्ट करना चाहिए, हमको शास्त्रों से कनेक्ट करना चाहिए, है ना, जो बाकी हमारे सीनियर डिवोटीज हैं उनसे कनेक्ट करना चाहिए, जिनसे वो गाइडेंस ले सके। सिंपल सी बात है। जहां तक आप दे सकते हैं आप दे सकते हैं, बट उसके बाद आप उनको वहां पे कनेक्ट कर सकते हैं। तो इसलिए जो गाइडेंस देने का वो है, या गुरु बनने की क्वालिफिकेशन हमने फर्स्ट वर्स में पढ़ा ना, वाचो वेगम मनसा क्रोध वेगम जियो वेगम, ये सब क्वालिफिकेशन है। गुरु गुरु बनना कोई आसान थोड़ा है। तो हम लोग क्या है, हम लोग गाइडेंस नहीं कर रहे, हम लोग तो खाली इंस्ट्रूमेंट बन रहे जो ऑलरेडी गाइडेड डिवोटीज है, लाइक राधेश्याम प्रभु एंड अदर सीनियर गुरुज इन इस्कॉन। वी आर जस्ट कनेक्टिंग पीपल टू देम, सिंपल। ठीक है। अरे फिर हाथ कर लिया, तब तक हाथ मुझे हाथ नीचे मत करो करो, यहाँ स्क्रीन में दिखता नहीं है मेरे को, फिर मैं ढूंढता रहता हूँ कहाँ जा रहे हैं। ये जूम का लिमिटेशन है, वो गिव अप कर देता है हम हायर चीजों पे जाने से, नियम आग्रह कर दो। ठीक है, थैंक यू। सो नाउ लेट अस,
थैंक यू।
हाँ लेट अस कंटिन्यू फॉर जनसंघ। जनसंघ आल्सो लेट अस ट्राई टू सी, मैंने कोशिश करा थी ये भी आज थोड़ा सा कवर कर लेंगे, जिससे कल हमारा पूरा खत्म हो जाए। जनसंघ, यस प्लीज रीड। Prabhupada writes about Janasangha.
Jansangha refers to associating with persons not interested in Krishna consciousness. One should strictly avoid such association. Srila Narottam Das Thakur has therefore advised us to live only in the association of Krishna conscious devotee, Bhakt Sanevas. One should always engage in the service of the Lord in the association of the Lord's devotees. Association with those engaged in a similar line of business is very conducive to advancement in that business. For example, consequent, consequently, materialistic persons form various associations and clubs to enhance their endeavors. For example, in the business world, we find such institutions as the Stock Exchange and Chamber of Commerce. Similarly, we have established the International Society for Krishna Consciousness to give people an opportunity to associate with those who have not forgotten Krishna. The spiritual association offered by our ISKCON movement is increasing day by day. Many people from different parts of the world are joining this society to awaken their dormant Krishna consciousness.
This is called Janasangha. Janasangha is very, very important because next verse also, Rup Goswami is going to say Sato Vrite. So first is negative, second thing is positive. So negative means, here Prabhupada is writing, associating with persons not interested in Krishna consciousness. One should strictly avoid such association. So this is very much clear. We all know about association. And we should associate with devotees. Prabhupada is writing, people have different clubs, and we have open ISKCON for that purpose only. Now, Bhaktivinoda Thakur gives more, Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur gives more in detail who are those Janasangha people which we are not supposed to associate with. So he says they are four in numbers, broadly categorizing. What are those four? Please, somebody can read.
One should also
One
avoid
should
association with Mayavadis who simply blaspheme Vaishnavas, devotees. Second, Bhukti Kamis who are interested in material happiness. Third, Mukti Kamis who desire liberation by merging in the existence of the formless absolute Brahman. And fourth is Siddhi Kamis who desires and perform of mystic yoga practice are classified as atharyas. To associate with such persons is not at all desirable.
Correct. So Prabhupada has given anybody not interested in bhakti, but those you can mute yourself, bro. But those who are little bit seeming to be practicing bhakti, उनमें भी किसको छोड़ना है? तो भक्ति सिद्धार्थ ठाकुर से 4 लोगों को छोड़ना है. पहला मायावादी को छोड़ना है. मायावादी प्रभुपाद बोल रहे हैं जो वैष्णव है उसको ब्लास्फेम कर रहे हैं. दे आर आल्सो गेटिंग कवर्ड इन दिस. तो कोई भी डिवोटी आके अगर आपको दूसरे डिवोटी की निंदा कर रहे हैं, देखिए हम निंदा करना अलाउड है. हमने पिछले वाले में देखा था प्रजल्पा में कि प्रजल्पा में ब्लास्फेमस अलाउड है, लेकिन फॉर द पर्पस ऑफ लर्निंग समथिंग फ्रॉम हिम. एंड वो भी a qualified person can speak, just like Sukdev Goswami is kind of doing ninda of material civilization in Bhagavatam, but for us to learn. उसमें किसी का नाम नहीं ले रहे हो, लेकिन उनसे प्रिंसिपल सीख रहे हैं. ऐसे निंदा करना कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, लेकिन जो स्पेसिफिकली डिवोटीज की आके हमसे निंदा कर रहा है, तुमको पता है इसमें ये फॉल्ट है, ये फॉल्ट है, ये फॉल्ट है, उसका एसोसिएशन नहीं करना चाहिए. और आजकल ऐसे लोग बहुत सारे मिल जाएंगे. दूसरा भुक्ति कामिज हु आर इंटरेस्टेड इन मटेरियल हैप्पीनेस. And these people within devotional service also you will find many are mukti kamis. They practice devotional service, but their focus is how to just develop some material happiness. But the focus is not for the purpose of Krishna prem. That is not the focus. So such people should be avoided. Mukti kamis who desire liberations, बहुत कम लोग मिलेंगे मुक्ति वाले. And finally siddhi kamis who are for mystic yogas. So this association is a very important factor. Our Kapil Muni, he says in Srimad Bhagavatam, Sango yasmater hetur asato vihito diya sa eva sadhu shokrito nisangatvaya kalpate. Translation, somebody can read?
Association for sense gratification is certainly the path of bondage, but the same type of association performed with the saintly person leads to the path of liberation, even if performed without knowledge. Srimad Bhagavatam 3.23.6.
Correct. So he gives so much emphasis to the right association. So therefore, Rup Goswami is pointing out that if we are not choosing our association correctly, then what is going to happen is our bhakti is going to get destroyed, or at least it will get hidden. So as we are practicing devotees, we have to choose our association very wisely. What does association means we are going to cover in future verses also, but most important thing is that at least we should be aware whom not to associate with, because they are the people in sense gratification, and they will increase our sense gratificated desires also among the devotees and outsiders also. He says more thing about this. Sangam na kuryat pramada sujatu yogasya param paramaru rukshu matsevaya pratilabdatma labho vadanti ya nirya dwaranasaya. Somebody get the translation?
One who aspires to reach the culmination of yoga and has realized his self by rendering service unto me should never associate with an attractive woman, for such a woman is declared in the scripture to be the gateway to hell for the advancing devotee.
Correct. So this also Kapil Muni again he says, see, first he is broadly telling sense gratifiers and all, then he is more specifically telling that even association with attractive women. So we see that Prabhupada, his wife, Prabhupada says that she was not so beautiful. And Prabhupada told to his father that she is not beautiful. And his father said, that is good for you because you will be easily able to become detached from her. So association to that degree, it affects us. Anything which is helping us to develop sense gratification should be avoided. And he goes to not just revealing to this much extent, but more extent also. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that we should be giving up this sense gratification altogether of any kind. And then finally he says, the necessity of avoiding assatsang. Please read.
Larup Goswami has ordained abandoning the association of persons who are averse to Krishna as one of the limbs of bhakti. Sangatago Virprena Bhagavat Vimukher Jnani Bhakti Rasamrita 1.2.43. One should give up the association of persons who are opposite of Bhagavan.
So basically, Rup Goswami has given this as one of the 64 limbs of bhakti, that one should avoid asatsang. Just by avoiding, they are practicing bhakti. इतना इंपॉर्टेंट है असत्संग अवॉइड करना. अभी असत्संग अवॉइडिंग का मतलब क्या है? तो भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर बोलते हैं, ये जो पिक्चर है इसमें आप लेफ्ट साइड देखेंगे तो भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर बोलते हैं, जो थर्ड श्लोका में, फोर्थ श्लोका में बोला जाएगा, ददाति प्रतिगृह्णाति गुह्यम आख्याति पृच्छति घूमते भोजते सेवा षड्विधा प्रीति लक्षणम. संग का मतलब है ये तीन चीजें. अगर हमको जनसंग अवॉइड करना है तो मेटेरियलिस्टिक लोग, भुक्ति कामी, सिद्धि कामी, मुक्ति कामी, उन लोगों के साथ ये तीन चीजें नहीं करनी है. ददाति प्रतिगृह्णाति गुह्यम आख्याति और भूंगते भोजते चेवा, ये तीन चीजें नहीं करनी. लेकिन क्या चीज कर सकते हैं? तो भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर बोलते हैं नॉर्मल इंटरेक्शन कर सकते हैं. आप उनके साथ ट्रैवलिंग कर सकते हैं, आप उनके साथ ऑटो में बैठ सकते हैं, आप उनके साथ कोई काम कर रहे हैं वो कर सकते हैं, आप उनसे ग्रोसरी खरीद सकते हैं, ये सब कुछ कर सकते हैं. बट don't associate with them in these three levels. This is sangha according to Bhakti Vinod Thakur. And jana sangha, associating with those people doing these three activities. This we should not do. This we should do only with devotees. And dadati pratyagranati guhyamakyati prachati bhungte bhojate cheva. So this is what now Bhakti Vinod Thakur says, with whom all we should avoid these three activities. So he says there are 6 types of materialistic people with whom we should be avoiding these things. With this slide, we'll stop for today. First, actually, this is given by Radhesham Rutas. Bhakti Vinod Thakur gives the name, Sanskrit names, but we'll go through this meaning, easy to understand. So first he says, no morals, no faith in Lord. They don't follow any morality in their life, neither they have faith in the Lord. And they are just examples is worldly pleasure seekers. So इनके साथ तो कभी नहीं करना चाहिए. क्लियर है, हमको इनके साथ नहीं करेगा. इनके अंदर मॉरल्स होते हैं बट विदाउट फेथ ऑन लॉर्ड. सो देयर आर मेनी पीपल हु आर मॉरलिस्टिक. Societies and movements which are starting, which deals with ahimsa, which also deals with protecting women, protecting so many things, animals and all. So they may be looking to be moralistic, but they don't have faith on the Lord. So they are ethical but godless. Example is given of Karna. Radheshamru gives Karna. He was so much into giving business, but he was not having faith upon the Lord. And these people are also secular people. So those who are secular in nature, we should not associate with them. Recently, Bhakti Padma Pracharak Parivajak Maharaj had come. So he was telling, even secular people are, if we associate with them, they dilute our bhakti. What does the secular people means? So just a few example. Just like for example, you will find there are some classes of religion which are promoting violence, and in their religion only it is to promote violence. So these secular people, what they say, that actually not all people are, promoting violence. Few of them, those who are diverted, they only promote violence. Others don't promote violence. So not all people of that religions are bad. This is secularism he was mentioning. Why? Because the moment you gave this perspective, that very moment what happens is he thinks that I can associate with some of those people. But while associating with those people, he actually hampers his own bhakti. I'm not taking the name specifically because it is recorded, but this is also comes under Janasangha. So we should not just associate with anybody. Third category of people is they have faith upon the God, but they keep God under morality. They keep their morality above the God. They say if God has made rules, he should follow everything. Just like people, they blaspheme Ras Leela and all. Gandhiji, he was asked that you are taking Bhagavad Gita in your hand, but Krishna has done Ras Leela. Gandhiji said that if Krishna has done the said that he has done that, then Krishna is not a god for me. Ram is god for me. So such people, they cannot understand what Krishna is doing, what God is doing, but they want to keep God under the morality. Why Krishna kill somebody unnecessary? Why he killed Ramji killed Wali hidingly? All these people, those who are having such kind of doubts. For these pretenders, pretenders means they are religious hypocrites. सरगाए माथे तिलक गौर मिले ना, ऐसे करके भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर से I was there in Govardhan, and my God, so many people nowadays wear Vaishnav tilak and dhoti and all. But I was seeing they were standing, drinking tea and coffee, and they have nothing to give and take with bhakti. Just put their hands in their beat bag and just enjoying things. So many things. So they are come under pretenders. Some of them might be innocent, but most of them are pretenders, because that is how our fashion should be. Fifth is impersonalist. That need not to be discussed. You all know Prabhupada has given us so much clear explanation. And polytheist. Polytheist means they worship many gods. These are also dangerous. And those who have faith in many gods, and if you worship them, then they will promote some other rituals and things which is dangerous. So following other rituals is not a problem if we want to attain Krishna Prem. So if somebody is worshipping Lord Shiva to get Krishna Prem, no problem. Even gopis worshipped Katyani Devi for Krishna Prem. For Krishna Prem, no problem. But approaching demigod for material benefit is a problem. Or for anything apart from Krishna Prem is a problem. Because if you get that thing from that demigod, then your faith in Krishna will reduce. That is what Janasangha will happen. So these all Janasanghas we are supposed to avoid. And tomorrow we are going to see Lolyam and little bit more discussion about the relation of all these six. And also we'll have some more time for question answers. So thank you very much. We have 3 minutes left. Any questions, Prabhuji? Yes, Pushpendra Prabhu.
गुरुजी somehow गुरुजी ऐसे लोगों से एसोसिएट करना ही पड़ता है। तो गुरुजी कभी कभी हम प्रीच करने का ट्राई करते हैं तो वो फेवरेबल नहीं रहता है, क्योंकि हमारी फेथ कभी कभी लूज होती है, कभी कभी फेवरेबल नहीं रहता है,
Hare
कभी कभी
Krishna,
फेवरेबल
Hare
हो भी जाता है।
Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Sorry, it went away. Yes, Prabhu, please repeat question.
यस गुरुजी। गुरुजी जो 6 तरीके के लोग आपने बताए, इनको गुरुजी कभी कभी क्या रहता है, हम प्रीच करने का ट्राई करते हैं पर उस लेवल पे नहीं होते हैं, सिचुएशंस फेवरेबल नहीं होती, तो हम ही अफेक्ट हो जाते हैं। तो क्या गुरुजी ऐसी सिचुएशंस में गुरुजी बिल्कुल ट्राई नहीं करना चाहिए प्रीच करने का, अदर टॉपिक से डिस्कस करना चाहिए उनके साथ अगर एसोसिएशन में है तो?
नहीं, देखिए, प्रीचिंग के लिए तो हमारा ऑलरेडी पता है ना, टू टेल द ग्लोरीज ऑफ होली नेम टू द फेथलेस पीपल। सो वो नहीं करना चाहिए हमको। और जैसा आपने खुद ही आंसर दे दिया कि हमको उनके साथ एसोसिएट नहीं करना है। उनको फेवरेबल बनाने का हम लोग कोशिश कर सकते हैं धीरे धीरे, बट वो भी अंडर द इंस्ट्रक्शन। लेकिन अपने लेवल पे हमको नहीं ट्राई करना चाहिए।
गुरुजी उनके साथ में ही जैसे रहना पड़ता है, तो उस समय पे क्या करना चाहिए, अदर
उस
टॉपिक?
उस समय पे ये 3 चीजें नहीं करनी उनके साथ। भूंगते भोजते चैवा ददाति प्रतिगृणाति गुह्यमाख्याति पृच्छति, ये सब नहीं करना। वर्किंग रिलेशनशिप रखना है, समझ रहे हैं? उनके साथ खाना पीना खाना। देखिए वही है कि अगर मतलब आप अपना लंच खा सकते हैं, वो अपना लंच खा सकते हैं, लेकिन वो आपको कुछ दे रहे हैं खाने के लिए, आप उनको कुछ दे रहे हैं खाने के लिए, तो रिलेशनशिप स्ट्रांग होता है। प्रभुपाद जी बोल रहे हैं वैसे ही आप अपने कोई प्रॉब्लम उनके साथ शेयर कर रहे हैं, वो आपके साथ कुछ प्रॉब्लम शेयर कर रहे हैं, तो रिलेशनशिप स्ट्रांग होता है ना? आप उनको कुछ गिफ्ट दे रहे हैं, वो आपको कुछ गिफ्ट दे रहे हैं, तो रिलेशनशिप स्ट्रांग होता है। तो ये नहीं करनी अच्छी चीजें। हाँ, लेकिन नॉर्मल अपना जो काम है, उनसे जो भी रिलेशनशिप रखना है वर्किंग वाला, वो रख सकते हैं।
यस प्रभु
Thank you very much, dear devotees, for your patient hearing. And I could see that many of your cameras are off. Okay, no problem. So tomorrow we'll meet with cameras on. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.